You put that you got to say, you put that out here. You did that. I mean, you're a delusion, but I am sorry. You don't need to be sorry. You need to be better. You're mad at your husband, not me. Not me.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sammy Sam P, and today we're going to talk about the latest episode of Married to Medicine, more specifically the situation between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa. Let's get right into it. Okay, so it was hard to watch, y'all. It was hard to watch the situation between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa, and I decided that I'm going to come and give my 2 cents on what I think is going on. Let me start by saying that Dr. Heavenly, I've said it in a previous episode, I love you. I love your sense of humor. You're funny to me. And I understand you doing YouTube is something that you enjoy doing. You seem very natural when you do it. I've watched a couple of your lives and you're just being your own self, but without censor, I would say. And you doing the review of Married to Medicine it wasn't meant to be easy on your cast member, because of course you're going to say things that people maybe shouldn't know. You have a lot of background knowledge. I mean, you're part of the show, right? The thing is that you've been building a relationship with some of those ladies. You have a strong friendship with Jackie. You've been having a strong relationship with Dr. Contessa and Dr. Jackie. So now things get tricky. Because now you're talking about your friends, and yes, you're making joke and you think that some of them are funny, but sometimes it's probably going to sting the person that is going to be on the receiving end. One thing I can relate to you is that I'm the type of person, I laugh at myself a lot. I laugh at my pain a lot. And I think that that's something that was taught to me very early on, because with my own family members, with my parents, every time we have stuff going on, even if we have hard time or stuff like that, we will usually joke about it and make jokes and laugh about it. But one thing I learned in my growing into adulthood is that everybody is not necessarily wired the same way that I am. And even though sometimes I can have a humor that's specific to me and to very few selected people, everybody is not wired like that. And sometimes when some of your friends are going through some hard times, it doesn't matter what you say. At the moment that you're saying it for everybody else to hear, in your case in YouTube, it's going to hurt them. It really is. And I don't think that you were being malicious, but where I disagree with you is that you're not willing to put yourself in their shoes and understand that they are hurt. Especially Dr. Contessa. Dr. Contessa is hurt. And yes, you understand she brought a marital problem to the show, and all you do is relate the show, but you also do say a little bit more things sometimes, that may not have appeared in the show. Like for example, whenever you said that she told you that he hasn't changed in 10 years, and that if he hasn't changed in 10 years, you either have to be the one making a change for him to change, or if you decide to stay, you need to be quiet about it. Listen, I agree with what you said. I agree 100% with what you said, because the problem with marriage is that sometimes whenever you're in the heart of it, you're going to talk to people, you're going to do a lot of things, but then at some point people are going to look at you like, if you complain so much, why are you still there? You know what I mean? So the advice to Dr. Contessa is, you have to have selected few people that you talk about your problem to without going into detail, and that you can vent to, The best person I know to vent things to is God, personally, but I also have a few good friends or family members that I can rely on. But at the end of the day, if you believe in God, I would say this is your time to vent to God. I know people that would also write, and then everything that they feel, they would write it up, and then they would just trash it or burn it or whatever. Find an outlet to express your anger and your frustration, so that it doesn't necessarily appear on the show. Because what I would not want to see is another situation between you and your husband. Nobody wants to see a marriage in the brink of divorce. It's not fun. I do think that Dr. Heavenly, sometimes you are not focused on the delivery of what you're saying, and your friends shouldn't always have to come and tell you, hey, what you said, it bothers me. Like, you're a grown woman, I feel like at this point with this group of friends and whatever friend that you have, you should know what hurts them. And it's going to sting, Dr. Heavenly. It's going to sting, and Dr. Contessa is hurt. Do I think you're trying to destroy your marriage? No. But do I think that as a friend, the delivery and the way you talk about situation and laugh about them, that you could be a little bit more tactful about it and a little bit more understanding? Definitely, because I also feel that because you've been so blessed in your marriage, sometimes you do not understand some struggle that some people go through, and you don't want to be that way, Dr. Heavenly. Yes, you've been married to your husband for many, many years, and that's beautiful to see, and I wish you even many, many more years. But man, life can take a turn, man. Life can take a turn. And I really believe that your heart was not to mean bad. But sometimes if your friend is hurt because you're talking about stuff and there's a way that you talk about them and you have that humor of you that's not funny for that person that you call your friend, you gotta wanna calm down a little bit. It's my opinion for you, Dr. Heavenly. Now, Dr. Contessa. Dr. Contessa, you're hurt. And at the beginning of the show, we see you with your husband. You're saying that y'all are back together. You're not going to get a divorce. But obviously, there's still a lot of pain going on. And a lot of pain that you're not willing to let go in. And my fear for you is that you decided that Dr. Heavenly is going to be the outlet of all your anger. I feel like you're doing all of these things either because there's still some issues with your husband, and because you cannot be mad at him, you choose to be mad at Dr. Heavenly, or to understand that you were hurt. There's a lot of things that Dr. Heavenly said. Whenever you go through hard time like that, there's no way to laugh about it because you're like in the thick of your situation. But one thing I do want to say is that intervention that you put together was not for Dr. Heavenly to see a way. I felt that you were trying to get back at Dr. Heavenly and it did not work. This is why I felt like you wanted to get back at Dr. Heavenly. You were not even able to tell all of the other ladies that this is what you wanted to do, because you knew that they wouldn't agree with it. That's number one. So your intervention was for you. Your intervention was not for the other ladies. None of those other ladies outside of maybe Toya felt like an intervention was needed.
There's an intervention for Heavenly's channel.
Y'all some dirty low down people.
Well,
I don't think they agreed with the way you went about it. Dr. Heavenly was sidetracked, and I guess it's an intervention, so the person is not supposed to know, but then you're doing that in the name of the entire group when you know really well the entire group may not agree with it. And then I feel like you were being petty.
Love that
you love
hair.
this?
I love
Guess
it.
where I got this from?
I know where you got it from. I recognize it.
I got it from Heavenly Beauty.
Heavenly, would you like?
Like, why? I mean, you look beautiful. The wig look good on you. But what was the point on going to buy a wig from Dr. Heavenly Beauty Supply whenever you and her are not in good terms? You did it for the show, Dr. Contessa. You did it for the show, and I don't think that intervention of yours was genuine, and I think that you thought that Dr. Heavenly was maybe going to apologize. I don't know why you would think that way, because now Dr. Heavenly is going to ride on the fact that you took her by surprise, and nobody really likes to be taken by surprise. So most of the time, something that you could have done between the two of you quietly outside of the camera, you chose to make it a scene, probably one of the most explosive scenes of the show this season. So you were trying to get back at Dr. Heavenly and it didn't work because then you lost your cool because she did not react the way you wanted her to react. You know what I mean? So yeah, Dr. Contessa, you shouldn't have done that. You know, you shouldn't have done that. And then you really showed how frustrated you are and you almost made it look like your situation with Dr. Heavenly is Dr. Heavenly's fault. And when I say the situation with Dr. Heavenly, like the state of your marriage is Dr. Heavenly's fault. It is not Dr. Heavenly's fault where the state of your marriage is. You're the one that brought up your marriage in the show. You chose to bring up your marital vows to the show, and Dr. Heavenly was being insensitive whenever she was making jokes out of it and as a friend on her YouTube. You can be mad about that, but do not make it look like she's the one trying to destroy your marriage.
Do you know how many years I built?
I know.
Look at this. Look at this.
We did it.
This is funny.
Contessa.
This is where I think that a line has to be drawn. And yesterday, I think I came across Dr. Heavenly review for this episode. And I mean, she's giving us a little bit more information about it. And a part of me felt like this is a hard fallout because she really believed that you were friends. And that if, for the sake of what your friendship was, this could have been approached differently. I felt that day, whenever you decided to do that intervention, you chose to make Dr. Heavenly your enemy. There's no way you thought you were going to be friends after that. And no way. Like, did you really think this was going to work? And then Toya, that you have been fighting with in many seasons, is now your best friend because of you not being friend with Dr. Heavenly. It's kind of suspect, Contessa. And yeah, I mean, I feel like you made your choice. I feel like a part of me feels that you did that because you're trying to save face for your husband and everything. But this is just not the way to go. This is not the way to go. You could have gone about it differently. Quad said it very nicely in the scene. She said that what was the motive? If that was the motive, we all didn't need to be there. Let me all know what you think in the comments, y'all. It's sad, you know. I feel like it's gonna be very hard for both ladies to come back from that. I have hope for them, but in that instances, Dr. Contessa is gonna have to really move on past her issues with her husband and with Heavenly. And when I say move on, not just let it go, but like there's work that needs to be done. And then when it comes to Dr. Heavenly, you need to be more careful the way you talk about your friends. You know what I mean? Like, if someone is really your friend and they're telling you the way you go about this is hurting me, you need to be able to take a step back, you know, because the way you laugh at things is not the same way other people laugh at things. Let me all know what you think. Married to Medicine is great. It's going good. I'm loving it. Let me know if you want me to do full review. This time around, I decided to focus on that scene because that was the main scene of the episode. And on this note, if you're new here, hey, and I invite you to, you know. And for those of you that have been here supporting me, thank you all so much. And I'll see you soon. Bye.